actually turns out that... I bet you're wondering how we got out of that situation. How did we get out of this situation? Challenge it to a Pokemon battle! What? You heard me! Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jake. This channel is called Jake of All Trades, and today I have chosen the choice of doing Choose Me by Band-Maid. Alright, with that little cringy joke out of the way. This video had 109 requests, helped out very much by BM for Life putting up 72 votes for this one. Whew. I was wondering which one I was going to end up doing this week because we had kind of gotten through like a lot of the hyper commenting, and so at first I wasn't sure which direction this was going to go, and then Parker came in, started pushing for Endless Story, so I'm like, oh, I'm probably going to do Endless Story this week.
Victory Screech!
And then BM for Life came in and outdid him with 72 votes for Choose Me. And that's in addition to all of the other requests for Choose Me that have happened since basically the very beginning. Before we get into it, I am going to give a shout out to everyone who did this, as is custom at this point. So like I mentioned, BM for Life had 73 votes. Excuse me. I mislabeled one of them. Curtis R. Robles with 4 votes. Dan Joseph, Gary Holloway, Greylock 100, JK Kansas Band with 12 votes. He's been very consistent asking for this one since he first started commenting on my videos. Jugamu, Maniac 88 with 3 votes. ME262 Talon, P&D Squared, Parker with 4 votes, Paul 247-2, Surfing a Song Wave, Tom Clark, Toshi Matio with 2 votes, and Zager Vanguard. So again, thank you to all of you who have been pushing this one up. Little admission here, sometimes I have the song Blooming rolling through my head, but instead of Psyche singing Blooming, I hear Choose Me. And for some reason, that's how I think the song is gonna go. But it is almost certainly not gonna go that way. But I don't know. Ever since I saw the title Choose Me, instead of hearing Blooming in my head, I just hear Choose Me. So I don't know. It's a weird thing. No real explanation. But without any further ado, let's get into Choose Me, the music video, and after that, we'll get into the live version. Okay, Choose Me, the official music video. Here we go.
愛こそはね目に見えない幻想愛あるなら全てさらけ出して愛してると胸に刻み込んで捧げれば
Always interesting chord progressions. Ooh. That sounded like a harmonic minor. Holding on. Really intrigued by these chord progressions. like that harmonic minor progression there. They got some subliminal messages in the video or something. Stronger and now deeper. Nice solo.
Do you know, no, 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 no. I did me anything, it's okay.
Nice bass with Misa. Not my prisoner. Man, that was so abrupt. They've done that a few times now from some of the songs I've checked out. Okay, official live video for Choose Me. Let's hear how this one goes. Oh, Lisa's bass is really fat here. Look at that screen in the background. I wonder if they're drop D or if they're still in drop C sharp. That was hold on, now it's hang up. Konami's guitar is kind of buried. I hope it comes out a little bit for a solo. Wow. These melodic and chord progression choices are so interesting. Got a little gritty there. Ripping it. Ah, yes. Way to end it with the... I wish they would have had the ending that they had for the live version here in the studio version. That would have been pretty fun. Okay, so, full disclosure, I am recording the post-reaction thoughts about an hour after I heard the song and did the actual reaction portions of the video. And because I needed some time, well, a few things. One, my computer was doing some weird things and making me sound like a squirrel.
Is that my voice? Is that my voice? Oh well.
Anyway, so I needed to give the computer a little bit of a break, and I also needed to just take some time to digest the song and listen to it a little bit. I also needed to run to the bank, so help me process the song, run an errand, and let my computer chill for a little bit. So I've listened to this song a few times now, and I've listened to both versions, I think 3 or 4 times now, and like a few thoughts on it. So the first run through, I was kind of like, okay, interesting song. It's grown on me the more I've listened to it, and the chord progression I was noting definitely sounds like a harmonic minor. So it's like a sharp 7 in the scale, and I like that choice. It adds a lot of tension to the song. And just kind of reviewing the lyrics a little bit too. I was trying to, my attention was divided, trying to absorb the visuals as well as the lyrics, but and kind of doing the head bobbing thing, down, up, down, up, down, up, and so I was having a hard time processing all of it. So after kind of reading through the lyrics a little bit, I'm not that great at interpreting lyrics, but the general impression, please correct me if I'm wrong, that I'm getting from this is it sounds like she, or the narrator of the song, whoever the writer is kind of noticing that her romantic interest is kind of half committed. He seems like he's saying that he loves her and everything, but he's not really giving his full commitment. And there seems to be a hint, at least in the first verse, that he might be also giving his attention to somebody else, and so the author of the song is seeming to be in some kind of competition. Okay, are you choosing me, or are you choosing this other person? Because you only seem half committed, and I can tell. At least that's the impression I'm getting. Again, please correct me if I'm wrong. And that tension and the angst, even if there isn't someone else that her romantic interest is looking at, even if it's just him focusing on her, but only kind of feeling, lukewarm about the whole thing, about the whole relationship, you can kind of feel that tension and frustration with that harmonic minor scale, with that sharp 7. I did wonder before whether or not it was in drop D or drop C sharp. I tested it on the guitar. It is drop D, and And one of the other cool things I noticed in the pre-chorus was like you had these really kind of wacky intervals going from like the open D chord to like some note that wasn't in the normal harmonic minor scale, and so I thought that was kind of an interesting choice as well. Then there was that section in the middle where you got Misa's bass, where well, actually, before I get to that, one thing I noticed in the live version was that her bass feels a lot fatter. It's just like more boomy and foundational, and it just it almost seemed to overwhelm the guitar a bit. Like they really kind of ramped up her Misa's bass in the mix. So much so that Konami's guitar almost felt a little sidelined and a little bit in the background. Like I could still hear the solo and whatnot, but it just didn't feel as forward as it does in the music video. And then and even Miku's like rhythm guitar playing felt a little bit kind of like buried under the bass instead of like kind of sitting over nicely on top and mixed well with the bass. So that was, I guess, a little bit of a detracted, something I wasn't a huge fan of in the way that they mixed it in the live version. But that's okay. I still like, how boomy it was. So that is certainly a pro of the live version over the music video. But I just think it was just done a little too much. But that's all right. It's good to highlight the bass player a lot, because a lot of times they don't get as much of the attention that I think they deserve. So maybe that's what they were going for. I don't know. But anyway, so there's that little section where she had this Misa had this run, and I can't quite figure out like the kind of pattern. It sounded like it was kind of doing like some of that chromaticism that seems to be present in a lot of Band-Maid songs. Where it was kind of like descending by minor seconds, but still kind of like when she does the run, like up the scale, it's like, it doesn't even sound like it's just the scale, it's just like the pattern and the melodic pattern that she's following just seems to kind of like go down by a minor second every time she does the run. So I thought that was a really neat portion of it too. And then one last thing I noticed, actually a couple things. Every time I think it's the last thing, I'm like, oh wait, there's something else. Psyche she sings the song a lot more aggressively in the live version. I really like that. In the music video, like this is more prominent in the last part of the song, in the outro. She's kind of like she's very clean and belty, and it sounds a little bit more desperate, whereas in the live version she sounds a little bit more frustrated and maybe even angry, because she gets gritty like in some of those parts on a few of those words. And like personally, I prefer the aggression, and because I'm just a rock and metalhead, so you get a little more aggressive, and that just kind of like rings a little bit more with me. So I did prefer that about the live version over the studio. And then the other thing too that I enjoyed about the song was Konami's guitar solo. It wasn't just one guitar solo; it was two guitar solos. Like the first one, you had a lot of like she was throwing in the harmonies and stuff, and it wasn't like an overall crazy solo, but it fits well with the song. But then like at the end, as they were coming out of the final chorus, she decided to let it rip a little bit more, and I like it when she lets the solo rip a bit. Obviously, you want a solo that fits the song well, but can still showcase the talents, and I feel like that was kind of like the first part. It was like a little bit more fitting to the song, and then not that the second solo didn't fit the song. It was just that it was a little bit more of the wavelength of, all right, let me just rip something here because, I'm Konami and I'm fantastic at guitar. So certainly enjoyed that. It was overall a good song. I definitely prefer, like, I I'm doing this off of Nonfiction Days and Unleash, and so I've had those songs ringing through my head the entire week, and I really like Nonfiction Days. I just certainly put that one over Choose Me, but Choose Me was still a good song, lots of nuance, and like definitely a lot of things to pull out and pick apart, which, you know, it was a fun journey, like listening to the song on repeat for the last hour, just trying to get a good handle on it, because one of those things about Band-Maid is that they are just so good at adding nuance and these little things that you might not notice the first time through, but as you listen in subsequent views, even if you do notice it in the first time through, you might not register it right away, like, what was that? And as you get through it, you just kind of notice the subtle brilliance that they have, like, baked in different parts of the song, which just recaptures your interest. It never gets old. Speaking of not, like, always thinking that there's that you're wrapping up and then not really. Another thing I liked about the song too was just the parallels in the verses. So in the first verse it was hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, and then in the second verse it was hang up, hang up, hang up, hang up, and then from there, like in the chorus, the ending was saying stronger, and then in the second chorus it was deeper. So I like how they can make those variations, those change-ups. It's a nice little parallel, those parallels that keep the song from being too repetitive. Obviously you need repetition to like keep the song memorable and hooky and like playing in someone's head, but then you need enough variety to keep interest so that like you don't just kind of like lose interest, like, oh, I've heard this part already, and you kind of zone out, and then before you know it the song is over and you're like, oh shoot, what happened? Like, I wasn't really listening. That happens sometimes in some songs, and Band-Maid is really good at not letting that happen. So anyway, that's all that I can think of, unless I'm gonna give myself a few seconds. 3, 2, 1. Nope, can't think of anything else. So that is it for this video. If you like it, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on all notifications so that you don't miss anything going forward. If you have any suggestions for other Band-Maid songs you want to see from see me review, you know, vote in the comments below which one I should do next. Or if you have another band you want me to check out, also leave that in the comments below, and I will certainly give you a shout out when I do that. If you have any ideas for vocal covers or guitar covers, also leave those in the comments below, and I will give you a shout out when I do that video. And I also want to thank a brand new patron, Jonas S. Thank you so much for signing up and supporting me on Patreon. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. And that is in addition to BM for Life, who is a continued supporter on Patreon. So thank you to both of you. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. But that is it for today. Enjoy the rest of your day. God bless you, and rock on.